today? Questions?
So explain CSI. What is it and how will it work?
Well, it's a matter of, this is like that Helen Thomas. Every time we have a press conference, we go to you first. Okay, you're the new Helen Thomas. Anyway,
Look, if it's good or bad.
Well, I meant it as a compliment. Don't be giving me a hard time on that. Look, it's really a matter. Mary, talk a little bit about how you've set things. How you set things up.
Well, basically, what we've done with the executive order.
You're fine.
Okay. With the executive order, Governor Kasich is making it very clear that I will be working with the cabinet directors to identify regulations, those that obviously regulate business in Ohio, to identify those areas that get in the way or hamper our small businesses, keep them from being successful in the state. We are going to set up a structure of advocates who will take calls from constituents across the state of Ohio to make sure that we are immediately addressing the needs of a business trying to get a license to open its doors, or a business trying to expand its operations, making sure that we're proactive in the way that we interact with our small businesses across the state. We will be working obviously very closely with the Chamber of Commerce, the NFIB, the group that represents small businesses, the CPAs, all of those associations across the state that represent our small businesses, to make sure that we are, first of all, make sure that our regulations make sense, make sure that they're not more onerous than the federal regulations require, make sure that our regulators are regulating with common sense, that they're not standing in the way for as long as they can until they're kind of, okay, we got to comply, we've got to let the business open their doors. We need to put our people back to work. Ohio is a great state. John, I think Governor Kasich said it very well in his remarks earlier this afternoon. This is a great state. We have a lot of great resources, natural resources, and of course our best resource is our people. And this will help, we believe, to create more jobs in Ohio.
You know, I think we're going to find, it's good to get fresh eyes like Mark Kwame to come in here, who's been a businessman, and he's going to look at some of the rules, and I know he's going to say we have to get rid of these things if we're going to be successful. I know that Jim Zeringer and the Ag Department he's itching to get rolling on this. I think everybody here is. I know Joe Testa looking at the changes that can happen in taxes and transportation with Jerry Ray, and I expect even in social services. But let me also say that if you're working today on a big tall building, and you represent construction workers, or if you're paving a road and you represent the folks that are out there building our infrastructure, we want to hear from them as well. So this idea that we have to constantly work to make sure that people can have access to the decision makers in the state. What I would hope would happen is in a sort of relatively short period of time, Mary can come out with a list of things that will be changed. We will also look at underlying rules that might have to be changed through statute. Keith Faber, I don't know if Keith is here with us today, but Keith is intimately involved with Mary on this, and I expect we'll see some very good things. I know I had a discussion with somebody last night that said when I made the comment that we were open for business. In fact, it was Tom Pappas said to me last night. The CEO of a bunch of these restaurant companies heard this all the way down in Orlando, and he said, John, they want to meet with you. I mean, just to hear that out of a governor, that we're going to be open for business, sends a pretty important message. So we'll see, we'll see.
Governor, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me, the night you were elected, you emphasized to your supporters teamwork. Your first press conference, you mentioned teamwork today, you mentioned loyalty several times. Is that a code word or a message to fellow Republicans to stick with you as you start diving into this $8 billion problem that cuts ahead?
Well, Tim Penny's here, my dear buddy, Tim, Democrat, congressman from Minnesota. He and I worked together in 1993 on what was called the Penny Kasich bill. And it was a bill designed to cut 1 penny out of every dollar of federal spending. And I must tell you that the support for the Penny Kasich bill was bipartisan, but the opposition to Penny Kasich was bipartisan. I mean, we had more Republicans and Democrats being great friends back in 1993 than you could shake a stick at, all in the name of blocking change. Jim, look, I'm going to see the Democrats tomorrow. They have a caucus, I get a legislative meeting, whatever. I mean, I had a lot of conversation, not as many as I would like, But no, this is not a message about Republicans sticking together. I mean, if that's where this is going, then it's the same old, same old. I expect on the budget, when we have to do the things we have to do on the budget, that it won't be the greatest bipartisan effort. I mean, it's just not going to happen because there's a philosophical difference between the parties. But hopefully we'll have some Democrats that will vote for us. I hope to engage in major major efforts to reach out and to connect, and it's been good so far, but we haven't voted on anything. But Jim, it's not just with the legislature, it's with the public, because there's going to be a lot of demagoguery going on about this and that, and we have to have the public stay with us. I think Bob Bennett said yesterday, the first 2 years I'll be in a witness protection program, and then for the last 2 I'll be a hero. I don't know if I'll get to the hero stage, but today the purpose of my talk was really to just say to all Ohioans, we have to do this together. We can't do it with one party. We can't do this with the public excluded. So it's going to stay a message, and this cabinet, these are new people with me. The folks that went through the campaign and the people who have been with me for many, many years, we are a great team. They have to become a great team. You know what? If they're not a great team, we have a bad teammate, guess what? We'll get a new teammate. I'm not going to mess around with this because this is the survival of the state of Ohio. If I have to go inside my own cabinet to do these things, we're going to swing at the fences, Jim. Well, you know that. Your paper said, what was it? It was brace yourselves.
Governor, how far along are you on the budget? Will that occupy most of your time this first week and first month?
Well, I'm going tomorrow down to Dayton to meet with the Dayton Development Corporation. They were an outstanding group of business people. And then Wednesday, I'll be taking Mark Kwame. Well, Mark will be with me tomorrow, and Wayne. I don't know if Wayne is even here, but he's probably working. Wayne and I and Mark and I think Gordon Gee, the president, of course, of Ohio State, as you know. I went in to see Gordon to tell him I was thinking about running for governor, and Gordon said, John, you're the best politician I've ever met. I said, no, Gordon, come on, we know who the best politician is in the state of Ohio. And Gordon's going to go with us up to Detroit to meet with the Big Three. We'll also have a businessman named Jim Boland from Cleveland, been involved in business for a long time. Head of, I think, Ernst & Young in Cleveland. I've been on a board with him. He's a very smart man. So a lot of it is jobs focused, Patrick, and making these connections. Getting the congressional delegation together. I mean, you all know about this, this threat we have in Lima with this new marine amphibious vehicle. It's a problem with the tank. I asked Sherrod Brown and Rob Portman, members of the legislature and the congressional delegation. We've all had calls about how, if we work as a team, and if one part of Ohio hurts, we all hurt. If we help one, we help one part, we can expect help in another. It's sort of like, if the Grim Reaper visits you today, your neighbor today, the Grim Reaper will be on your step tomorrow. So we want to have a very active legislature, very active congressional delegation, and of course the budget. And Tim is going to be able to, I think today, get his hands on more of the numbers, and he's going to be able to give me a report, he says, in a week or two about the situation as to where we stand. So it's budget, it's jobs, it's we have a little bit more to do on the cabinet. A lot of things going on.
Governor, now that you've been governor for over a dozen hours and you've signed your first executive order today, Article 3 of the Ohio Constitution invests the supreme powers of the state in you. What other kinds of status quo busting executive orders can we expect from you going forward?
Whatever the legal people tell me. So I'm trying to, they're working on them, and I'd rather not get ahead of ourselves. And as you all know, I make a great effort to try to tone down all this boat rocking. Don't believe that. That's not going to happen. We're all going to have fun, who knows what's going to happen, but we're going to have a lot of fun here. What else? Okay, listen, I want to tell you that it's really fantastic. I thought we had a great inauguration. The lady that sang "How Great Thou Art," I don't think anybody could have ever sung that better. And my daughter's leading the kids in the Pledge of Allegiance. That was fantastic. And Carmen, Ohio. That's I'd like that to be the new state song. Although I guess it's "Hang on Sloopy," isn't it? I mean, I don't know, whatever. But it was all great. So thank you all very much, and look forward to working with you over the next few days and months and years. Thank you all very much.